Do you feel in any way that you guys are getting distracted by your frustration with the officiating?
No, honestly, I think for the most part we've handled it well. Obviously, hasn't gone our way. That goes without saying, and but that's for them to control. There's certain things that's in the league's control, and have faith that it'll start to flip and they'll take care of it. But for us as players, we just got to focus on our job, and it's emotional. The playoffs are it brings the emotions to a new level. But I think as a group, we've actually done a pretty good job of dealing with it and trying to move on the best we can.
Right, thank you.
Stephen Wino.
Hey, Brendan, you just mentioned kind of playoff series get emotional and all that, but what do you make of sort of the warm up antics and obviously the teams got fined for all that, but like what do you make of how the series has gotten sort of testy?
I mean that happens in every series, especially the first rounds. I think teams are so excited to be where they are, and you're starting to journey off. I think every playoff that I've been a part of, the first round is usually the most physical and the most emotional, and this one's no different. I think both sides have players that are competing, and that's just a part of it. And I just found out about 20 minutes ago that something happened. I didn't even know last game, so I can't even comment on the warm up last game. But I'm sure I'll find out. But it's the game is played between the whistles, and that's where we need to focus.
Guillaume Lefrançois et Jonathan Bernier.
Hi, Brendan. Just going back to the whole to how the team handled the physical part of that series. How do you sort of toe the line between, clearly some of their big veteran guys have challenged your team physically. So how do you handle um, not not losing your focus and also being aware of what they're trying to do to your group?
Yeah, I mean that's a side of the game that we're comfortable playing as well. I think game three when we won, the hits were we had twice as many as they did, even more. So I mean that plays a part in it. I'm sure they wanted to respond, um and yeah, that's just a part of any series. So that's a part of the game that our team is comfortable playing. You got to finish on their top guys. That goes without saying, and it's all part of it. So that's all part of the playoff nature that our group is experiencing and enjoying.
Going back to 2021 when you did come back from 1-3, that was a much older group, obviously a lot more experience on that group. That group was also healthy. So how do you how do you view your role in that group in a much younger group this time around than the one you had 4 years ago?
Yeah, I mean it's that's an experience that we're going to draw on. The guys that went through it. You understand the mental challenges with each game, and this the game five was the hardest mentally for us. To because you're looking at big picture and you're looking at the challenge in front of you, but you really have to just shorten your mindset. And we went in there, we went into Toronto, we won one game. We were able to get it back to the Bell Center, and you just feel the belief grow from there, and vice versa. With Toronto, you're just trying to plant that seed of doubt. And Washington, it's going to be the same challenge. So it's yeah, you draw on that experience for sure, and you try to relay that message. But for us, it's just right now our goal and our focus is very short term, and it's a challenge that we're capable of doing. Going into a tough building and winning a hockey game is something that this group has done all year, and something that we feel like we can do again.
Thank you.
Merci, Guillaume. Prochaine question, Jonathan.
Hello, Brendan. Just want to know if there's any way you can slow down their forward to make sure that your D doesn't they don't get crushed like yeah like yesterday.
I mean, yeah, you can hold up, you can do the best you can to slow them down, but that's just part of it. It's been a physical series. Every game, there's both sides are finishing everywhere they can, and that's part of playoff hockey. So that's just part of something that you're gonna have to deal with, and obviously, I think that's it's an area of the game that both teams talk about. Both teams can play to that style and are fine playing that way. So it's just a part of the game that going into it you have to expect.
Do you remember a playoff series where it was as tough as this one that you were involved in?
Well, I don't know if you remember those the early on in my career, the series against Ottawa. Well, those were pretty physical series. So I think you know, there were line brawls, there were stuff like that. So it was, I mean, definitely been a part of something like this before. You know, this is I would probably say that was more physical. You know, this is there's moments, but I think it's, you know, both teams are, like I said, both teams are playing hard. We understand what's on the line. Both teams are competing. You know, the physicality is part of the game that you expect going into it. So it's not something that's you know, something our group can't handle.
All right, thank you.
And the last question will go to Alexis Bélanger.
Hi, Brendan. Just going back to last night, regarding the hit by Tom Wilson on Carrier, just were you surprised by the lack of response from the group on the play? I think Josh went to see him, but a little talk, no fight, no brawl, and just weird about the pack mentality of the group. Was that what happened there?
I mean, it's hard, right? You're up by a goal in the third period. You know, Andy does the right thing, responds. Their guy didn't want to. It's fine. You know, and they kind of get a break, and the puck ends up in our net. You know, it's just kind of a circumstance that probably won't happen all that much. You know, it's probably not. It's not something that you really talk about, or there's areas to correct. You know, it's Andy does the right thing. You know, and you go from there. You know, it's just a part of the game that happens.
And just a different topic, but overall, if you look at the big picture since the start of the series, a lot of their goals have maybe come from bad bounces, you know, twice off Savar's legs, yesterday off Caulfield. Just, is that something that you look at, you know, as far as making your mindset thinking that it could be a different scenario, or is that demoralizing when you look at it? How do you feel about those
Not
bounces?
necessarily that. I think you know, we just look big picture at all four games, and you know, at no point have we felt like this is, you know, we're being outplayed, or this is something we can't handle. This is just you know, you play the four games, you find yourself in the situation you're in, and then you go from there. And obviously, you know, we're in win or go home